Alright guys, we won't be sharing this one out. Why is there a shadow there? Alright. So this is an underpainting. I do have a reference photo for this, but my reference photo is going to be significantly different. I mean, my painting is going to be significantly different from the reference photo, so this will be interesting. So if you've not seen me do this underpaintings before, we'll be doing this in burnt umber, exclusively in burnt umber. Hey Bruce! With the use of brushes and toothpicks, and get the whole thing done. So this underpainting technique is called Vernet, which means it has a brown undertone. It's burnt undertone. We're just using mostly linseed oil. There's a little bit of odorless mineral spirits in it to thin it out a little bit. The sketch is on here in charcoal pencil, and then it's been covered with so fix it. Spray on fix it to keep it from running away when I start putting this over it. I really like this technique. It requires a significant amount more work than initially than the just normal wet on wet, but it gives you quite a bit of depth to your underpainting, to your painting, and it sells well and for a higher price. So I kind of like this. I kind of like this. I've had several people want to buy just the underpainting, which that was kind of interesting. But anyway, a little too much oil there, so we'll spread that out. I'm just using a flat brush to apply this. Hey, Anthony, what's up, boss? So I've only used a reference photo to sketch these two kids, and then all the landscape stuff we'll do ourselves. We'll figure out just exactly where they're going to go fishing. There's a few really interesting challenges in this. The young man that's in this picture is wearing overalls and cowboy boots. But he's also walking through high grass, so some of that's going to show through and some of it's not. When it's all said and done. Renee underpainting though is really creating a map for what the first color glazes are going to be. Because we'll be glazing colors on. There's first color glazes and then there's final color glazes. Alright. Just about done here. Not too much oil here in the corner. Have to wipe some of that back. Clean this brush. I have cleaned the refilled my brush cleaner since our last thing. Hey Kathy. dropping off and on, Bruce? Alright, let's start clean this brush and then we'll start wiping this back. Alright, so the next phase of this is going to be wipe back, and then the next phase after that is more wipe back. So, and then after wiping back, we'll do some adding back, and then we'll do some adding and wiping back. So it's kind of like a 5-step process. It works out pretty well. Alright, now we want to wipe this down. Wipe some of this back off. So let's start over here. You can hear we're scrubbing it pretty good. Slide this out just a little bit. We'll do some ground right here, so I'm kind of use a horizontal stroke on this part. All right. We'll wipe that. Wipe back. Okay, so I want to wipe a couple of areas a little stronger. Right here in the center. We're going to have a glow, like for the sun. So I want to kind of scrub that back a little bit. Don't worry if you get paper towel, if you do this and you get paper towel things on it, don't worry about it. You just wipe them off with a brush when you get done. Alright, let's see. Let's start deciding where the lake's going to go. So I kind of thinking like right about here. Just a little below center. Start wiping this back with the water. Alright, now I'll start working on our kids. I'll wipe my hands off first. If you guys have any questions, just ask. Hey Amy! Hey Larry! Alright, so let's take a brush. Take a fan brush. Get all these paper towel things off of there. Off. Eat scram. Push me too. Alright. So now, I don't know if you can see on the video, but you can still see the images of the two kids right here. I think right back a little bit more in this one spot. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Alright, so now we're going to start wiping back with the Q-tips. Let's do that. So she has on, this dress is going to be yellow, so we're going to lighten that up a lot. She has really dark hair though, so we'll need to paint that in. And he's got blonde hair, and he's wearing overalls, but he's pretty light skinned. So let's start working on some of that. So let's start off. Let's start off right here. We'll just start coloring him in here. And then let's see the shadows on the top of his arm. So let's wipe off under the arm first. And then we can start working on the shadow. He's carrying this bucket. So, and then she's got the shadow on the outside of her arm. And the outside of her hand. together. Alright. New Q-tip time. Alright, so these got a little bit of his neck right here. We'll come back and start adding shadows back in a little while. Alright, let's work on her dress just a little bit. Let's get a little bit of the dress stuff in here. So her hair comes down. Well, let's work on the inside of the leg here. That'll make it easier for the dress started. Her leg is a little bit bent. Here's some creases in her dress, but we'll have to put those back in. That's okay. A little bit of shadow on the inside of her arm here. And when it comes down and her fingers are folded, now you don't necessarily want to keep changing Q-tips every time because the you're using some of that to carry the shadow into the areas that you want it. You'll see that more when we start blending. There's a couple little highlight spots here on the dress. It's a bright highlight, like her hand's right there, so it's just kind of right around that area. And then there's some, like, but that kind of carries into the center of the dress right here. And then up on this strap, I'm just going to switch this for a minute. The other strap is right here, but it's just barely there because her hair is falling down over it. So in a minute, we'll paint her, when we start painting her shadows, and we'll get, that'll be helpful. Alright, let's get is this in the little girl series? No, not really. It's not. I've got one more over. I've got two that I'm working on that are in that series, but this is not one of them. It's just actually it's kind of the next evolution out, the next series out beyond that. I think I kind of wanted to paint boys and girls doing stuff, but I don't know if I haven't actually turned that into a series yet, so I don't know really. All right, let's get this young man's arm in. His arm is bent. He's holding a fishing pole. Alright. And that that'll kind of give us a good, need to lighten his hair just a little bit. Let's do that. And then I've got just the edge of his face, but it's in shadow. So we'll kind of lift that. Let's see. Where's that? He's got that's his little bobber there on his fishing pole. And then it goes on up. So we'll follow that up in a minute. Now, the rest of those, we're gonna have to put some seam lines in for these coveralls, but we'll do that in a second. We're gonna have to do that differently than doing it with this brush because, with these Q-tips, that won't work. Alright, so her skin is right here. And we'll paint her hair in over the top of that. And then right just the edge of her. Alright. Now her dress is actually, wait, comes on over here. Alright, so you can see it's starting to take shape here. Let's get her other. Let's get her other leg in here. Some of the little girl series is not underpainted. Some of it is. I started kind of doing this Brene when not too long after I started doing that. All right. So before we get going, adding colors, let's take care of this bucket a little bit. So we have a bucket. It's looking on the inside. Sun shining on it. And there's like a really bright spot. So yeah. Well, I can lighten it up a little bit. We kind of got All right, let's start adding some things back though. I'm going to add some things back and then we'll take some more stuff away here in a minute. All right. So, let's see. Let's use a small flat. These are new flats that I just got. I hope they work out pretty good. These are Princeton's. I've not tried them before, but hopefully they'll work really good. Alright, let's start off. Let's get the crease in this young lady's arm. And then we got some shadow down here behind her dress. And her arm comes out like that. There we go. We got some, she's got a seam that comes across. And she's got a couple creases. That's the word I'm looking for. Creases. Coming down her dress. There's a little bit of a shadow right here where her dress comes over her sleeve. And then so let's see her hand. Her arm comes around like that. Her hand's turned. Down that way. All right, let's do something with her hair. To start off with, I'll just kind of block this just a little bit. And then we'll start. Let's see. Oh yeah, she's got flowers in her hair. Yes, yes, yes. So I'll paint this whole painting and I'll send it over to Anthony to do the flowers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Anthony. Alright. A little bit more paint, darken it up even more. Because we will just glaze over this when we're doing overpainting. We'll just do the glazing this part. So you won't have to add too much color with the glaze. But we are going to leave some room in there for her hair to listen. Alright, let me see if anybody's got any questions. No? No questions? Okay. Alright, we shall carry on. We've got too much paint on that brush though. Alright, so there's a little bit of a shadow. Right here along her neck. And then there's a little bit on her ear right there. So I hope you guys can see that forming up. Hope. The shadow there for her elbow. Alright. So that just about takes care of her. Now the reason her legs aren't more detailed is she's walking through grass. We don't really have too much to see there. Alright, then we'll finish the bottom. A little shadow there on her leg. Alright. So hopefully you guys can see all that now. Now there is let's do right across here. She's got a band of green on this yellow dress that comes across like that. Is that some? Oh, it's on. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's got it. All right. So we're good. We're good with that then. All right, let's work on the bucket a little bit. So this young guy's got it in his hand. Let's get the handle in there. Now, remember when you're dealing with things that are circular in paintings, they always look a little better if you make them kind of oval rather than circular. We'd already kind of done taking, there wasn't a lot of shadow to be added to this part. There's a little bit like, let's kind of blend this in. There's a side of, there's like a really brilliant light on this side and then not so much on the other side. He's evidently coming home. He's coming home with some fish. All right, let's work on his. Let's work on his. Work on him a little bit. All right. So we got this long, nice shadow coming alongside his body, alongside his jeans. And then that shadow continues on into his arm, all down. Reach his thumb, right there. Any questions, guys? No? All right. I'm sure it's about as interesting as watching grass grow. All right, so let's see. So overall's got a big fold right there. Hey, I want to thank everybody that sent me cards and stuff about my cat, Midnight. I don't know what made me think of it just like right at this moment, but it was very nice of you guys to do that. This boy's got on some cowboy boots, so we're gonna sketch them in there a little bit. And they kind of go around like that, and then they're gonna disappear into the grass. Now on this side, what are we seeing here? We're seeing the back side of his boot, which is kind of dark actually. And then the heel. Now you don't have to do this in any particular order. I'm just kind of working left to right. In your world, you do it however you want. Sometimes I turn paintings upside down to paint them because they're easier that way to me sometimes. We've got a shadow on his neck, so we'll put that in here. I'm gonna put that part in. Now, we'll leave this dry, at least overnight, and then we'll come back and put the other colors on it. So we're seeing just a little bit of his ear right here, and then the side of his face right there. So shadow right here under his hair. Hair's not too long though. All right. He's got on a camo hat. It'll be challenging, so we'll do that. Let's put this in. You can't really see the bill of his hat so much. So there's a little bit of it right there. Alright, let's figure out where this camo goes. Let me see. I don't remember when I painted it in here. Alright, or when I colored it in. Alright, so that's coming along. We're going to take some more off here in a minute. I think we will turn this upside down to paint this fishing pole when we get around to that part. Just because it's long. Alright, so we got this goes this way. Painting just with the edge of this is the very edge of this brush. I'm liking this brush. I'm liking it so much I dropped it on the floor. Let's pick it up again and try it again. Alright. Alright, so what is this we're looking at here? Okay. So this is the other seam of his overalls. Alright. Now, if you're painting along this underpainting, and you decide that, oh, I made a mistake, well, that's fine. Just pick it up and erase it. You can wipe it back with a Q-tip, and then just put it right back. Doing that at timer 10. So, all right. Working our way down his belt line toward his pockets. He's got two thick seams. One's right there, And the other ones are right there. And one of them's kind of highlighted, so we won't. Alright, so let's just kind of. And this is also a seam. He's got a little bit of a design on his cowboy boot, so we'll have to paint that in when we get down there a little bit. Then we got kind of a crease right here, and there we go, like that. Underpainting and shading has a lot to do with each other. Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, really, what you're painting in the underpainting is the darks that you're going to have in the overpainting. So, I mean, you're kind of laying out as a map as well, because, you know, like I've got to decide where all the landscape and all that kind of stuff's going to go, but it's definitely got a lot to do with shading. So, because, I mean, you're laying in all the darks. I mean, that's really what's the purpose of this. So if you think about it, when you're painting in two tones like this, or, you know, you actually what you have is you have a light tone, a mid tone, and then darks. So, so if you think about it, what you're really doing is you're just painting in all the dark. And because of that, I'm just fixing his blue jeans right here. We took a little bit too much paint off right there. What you're really determining is where every place is going to be dark and every place is going to be light. You're deciding that ahead of time before you start. So, I mean, that's really what this is all about. Now, it makes your tones much richer. If you actually take like in Marion Dutton's course where she shows underpainting techniques, she shows an apple study. And in the apple study, you actually paint a red apple and a green apple without underpainting, and then you paint an underpainting apple, and then you paint it using the same colors, same exact colors. And the richness of the underpainted apples is it's palpable. I mean, you can really see the difference. He's pulling his shoe in here a little bit because he's walking. All right, now let me look at that for a second. I'm missing a seam on this shoulder. Like that. But yeah, I mean, really what you're painting is you're practicing painting a painting in three tones. You know, a dark tone, this dark tone, the mid-tone, which is this color, and then the lighter tones. Alright, let's put a little bit of extra highlight in a couple of places now. So we're going to do that. We're just going to put some oil on the brush. And let's see, we're going to want this seam right here is really bright. This seam right here. So really what we're doing is we're just wiping paint. We're wiping back paint. There's a highlighted spot right here where his leg's bent and the water's going to show through. Let's see, there's going to be a lighter spot right here, just a little bit, a lighter spot. lighter spot on this bucket. Right here in the middle. There's a really, really light spot up here on this bucket. So really what we're kind of doing is we're wiping almost back to the canvas a bit with this oil. Because we're using the oil to lift the paint back off the canvas. Now these brighter spots will show up through the glaze quite a lot. Okay, is there any places else? Yeah. Alright, so again, oh, wrong. We need to put like, yeah, didn't get very much off, let's try it again. I better wipe some of that off. There we go. There we go. And now we need a little bit more of a Alright, I'm going to try to paint this paintbrush. I'm going to try to paint this fishing rod. But, where's my pole? Come here. Alright, first of all, it goes. Nope, not gonna work. It's not gonna work for me. I'm just gonna have to tough it. So here we go. It's a cane pole anyway, so can't really expect it to be completely straight. Now, it's gonna have a highlight on one side, so we don't have to worry about that too much. And then we've got, there's a shadow right in here where the line goes. Alright. Oh, I see some shadows on those jeans I didn't finish. Alright, so there's a shadow right here. And here's another shadow, goes this way and this way. Alright, so let's switch brushes now. I think I'm kind of done with that part. Maybe there's a little more shadow right in here on her legs. And there's a little more shadow on, there's that crease right there, and then this crease, there's this crease kind of runs out. There we go. Alright. Actually, you see if you could see the reference photo, the back of his pants is wet, like he's been sitting on the bank and his pants is wet. It's kind of funny. Alright. So, let's clean the brush. Let's just switch brushes. Now we're kind of done with the underpainting, so, well, not done with the underpainting, we're done with the reference photo, but now we need to put some other stuff in here. So, let's keep that brush for a second. Let's kind of, Just kind of sketching in here where I want. The shoreline to kind of be. So they're almost where they're going. Alright, so I can see that. Let's put, alright, how do we want to do this? So over here, we're going to want some trees. Let's kind of paint a couple in here. We don't have to put all the branches. You know, though, I just thought of something. We could maybe and let's see. This is kind of have this branch going up. And we're going to have grasses and stuff back here. I want to do that with a wider brush though. Okay. Let me clean this brush out. Use a different brush. Hey Jane. Let's try this brush here. It's a brand new brush. So now, we don't have to stick to that line there if we don't want. We can. I'll probably just get close to it, but we don't have to. Da-da-da. Now they're kind of walking through some deep grass right here. We're going to see some of that grass through there when we paint this. So that's why that's lifted that way. Alright. Now you can detail that as much as you want. There's really no need to detail it a lot because you're going to do that with the overpainting, but you can at least get the shadowy stuff in. And probably I'll use purple to darken this up even more when I get ready to start messing with it. Alright, I've run out of paint, so I'm going to stick to that though. Oop, wrong color. That would have been gruesome. Put the wrong color back up. Then it had a two-tone, more than a two-tone. Alright. And all of that stuff in between there, I'll put in different layers of grass. Scrub in a little bit of landscape here to kind of create some shadowing. Let your brush be free with this part, because ground's just not, perfectly ordered. Unless it's your front yard, and maybe it is. Alright, now let's put some. Let's even up this coastline just a little bit. Or uneven, one of the two. There we go. And add a little bit of depth into the water. There we go. Alright. Let's add a couple of little streamer things up here in the sky. Not a lot. Something we can put the sun behind. Alright. And that little swing, it's a nice little addition, I think. Alright, let's just, let's clean this brush. Just about done with this. I might lighten his arm a little bit more, right there in the middle. Yeah, I think I will. Let's just kind of blend this a little bit. Soften it up. Let's do something different. Let's add some things in here. Let's add a couple things real quick. What would it be like to be a kid and not be up to mischief? So let's just take right here. Let's paint us in. Okay, who can guess what I'm about to paint? There's 4 of you here. First person that guesses it wins a painting. Free painting. First person. What's it going to be? What's going in right here? Who's paying attention? You got to tell me before I get it in here. No, nobody's going to guess? You're not going to guess. Come on. Come on, I want to give away a painting. A bird bath? Nope. That's a good guess, though. Nope, not a bird bath. You can guess again, though. You can guess as many times as you want. That's a good guess. Give me some good ideas there. I hate it when I run out of paint. Okay, nobody guessed. Darn. No fishing signs. You know what though? That won't stop a little boy from going fishing. Alright, at least not this little boy. Alright. Let's add a few things here. Let's finish up this shadow right here. It's a really dark shadow, so we want this to be nice and dark. And this is going to be great painting. I can't wait to paint this. It's going to be so much fun. Alright, I want there you go, buddy. One thing that I could try to do, let's see if we can do this. I would like to try to put some of the stitching into that seam, these seams. I don't know. Oh yeah, and I wanted to do that. Let's do this. There's lightning bolts here on his boots. And then let's clean that brush. Take it back to the oil. Let's try to see if we can, where can we try it? Where it won't hurt too much anything. Let's try it right here. So we're just wiping this away a little bit. And now we're going to try to see if we can put some of that. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's working out a little bit. It's going to be tedious. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Can you see that? No fishing. That's right. Did you guess that before I said it, Amy? I know there's a lag sometime in Facebook. If you said it before I did it, I'll still give you a painting. All right, let's don't mess with that too much more. All right, let's see. Let's finish up some final little Q-tipping. Where's those Q-tips? So I want a little more space right here, a little more shine right here. I want a little bit of shine right here on the back of his shirt, on the back of his neck. Some shine on the inside of his arm right there, right outside that shadow. Then a little bit of shadow. Where did my brush go? A little bit of shadow right here on his elbow. Set that to the side for a second. Okay. All right. Hey, text me your mailing address where I can mail it to. I think what we're seeing here is So I think let me see the shadow right here. Alright. I'm going to leave the rest of the shadow. Now there's a little bit of it. Take some of this out right here. Some of this out right here. Not too much. Alright. And then we put some of it back. Where you go? Where did you go, little brush? Really we still wanted the crease to be in there, but we wanted the shading, some of that shading to go away. Now, of course, when we glaze over it, not much of that will show up at all. But here, let's just blend this, and then put a little bit more highlight on the outside of that right there. A little more right there. Pick up some of this off of there. And then it's got some shine right here. Alright, Amy, are you on my friends list? If you, I only need to know that because I just need to know where to look for the text that you're sending me. So, alright. I think I would like to have another tree or two in there though. So let's do that. Let's get let's use this guy. So I'm going to use a dagger striper. Run up another tree or two. Something skinny. Not too skinny, but skinny. A little bit skinny. And of course we'll put a bunch of leaves and stuff on that, but there we go, that looks a little better. Alright. Alright guys, I think I'm happy with that. We'll let this dry. Now, the good thing about an underpainting is if you decide you want to do something different with it, you can just paint over it, you know, without a whole lot of trouble. As long as it's still wet, you can do almost anything with it you want. But I'm just putting a little bit of extra slap a little bit. The grass needs to be a little more grassy. There we go. Now, of course, we'll add some curvier grass too. Later, when we do the overpainting, we'll add some purples and some greens and things. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I think we'll. So Amy, hang on. I'll show you the painting you won. It's laying right there. I forgot to bring it over here. Hang on. Here it is. It's a 11 by 17. So, a barn. This is inspired by Wilson Bigford. Way back in when did I start? When did I paint this? Does it say? It's called I think it's called the old blue barn. That's what I called it. But anyway, it's all yours. I'll send it to you. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll probably do another underpainting here, hopefully before dinner. I got a couple more laying over there, and then I got to stop doing underpaintings and actually do finish some paintings. So, you guys have a good day. Hope you're having a happy Wednesday, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.